over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, guess what time it is? It's Paranormal Portal time, my God. Otherwise, why would I be here? Why would you be here? And together we're going to enter the portal tonight because, well, there's lots of exploring to do in the depths of the Paranormal Portal. But we don't have to do it alone. No, I've got, not only am I your trusty guide and captain, we also have our fearless navigator, man of the many winds, salt of the earth, and the grill. Mr. Don Longbeard is here.
Oh, man, I had a whole head full of things I wanted to say, but now it's just gone with the wind.
Man of the many winds, yeah. Well, you know, I've got a few wins myself.
Yeah. Well,
let me just tell you.
I've had a few of those.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. I hope the 4th was with everybody yesterday. May the 4th be with you. And today is Cinco de Mayo. And so congratulations. You made it to, I'm part Latino today.
You are getting in touch with your inner Latino. Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Embrace all cultures as always. But we've got a fun, full adventure for you guys tonight. On the adventures, we have a news segment, and it's going to be a very intermittent segment. Of course, it's not something that's gonna be coming up very often, I'm sure. But it's one we're going to showcase tonight because it's a cool one.
And damn it, he deserves it.
And it's our new guest contributor to the Paranormal Portal. An old friend, not old in age, but old, in time. But we'll be showcasing all that in the second hour. So we got 2 fun-filled hours tonight, folks, and we got a lot of tracks to lay down because we're going to be discussing cryptids, creatures. We're going to be discussing time slips. Discussing, I meant. Sorry. I don't know if that was Freudian or what. I don't know to what. I don't know what that's in reference to. We're gonna discuss a lot of cryptids, though we got a few of them on the menu tonight. But as always,
are they on the grill?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
You got to actually catch them to get them on the grill, Don.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, they're like Don's Pokemon is a meat menu.
Gotta catch them all.
What guys squad? Paranormal Portal squad. PPS in-house. J-Rock says that. Well, this is the Paranormal Portal squad. Yeah, absolutely. And you're all members of that squad, so represent it proudly wherever you go. And feel free to get the squad outfits from Teespring.
There you go. Spooky Mom for 15% off at Teesprings until Mom's Day.
Until Mother's Day,
and you don't actually have to be a mother to use it. You don't have to get it for mother. You can get it for yourself. You don't got to tell anybody.
Absolutely. Love yourself.
That's right.
Mother yourself, as it were. And you can do that right in our Teespring shop if you so choose. But the phone lines are going to be open tonight, folks. They're open now, but I'd rather you waited for a little bit before you called in because it takes me a while to find my stride when we come back on on Wednesdays especially, but at the beginning of every show, it's like, okay, let me get to my rhythm, and then we can go. But we had some great call-ins last show.
Did you say Collins?
Call-ins.
Call-ins.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Call-ins? What do you
I thought you said colon.
No, that's the vampires, sparkly vampires. There's none of those here, Don. We don't do sparkly vampires.
Oh, boy.
No, we don't. But the phone lines will be open. 720-923-0500 is the number. If you want to call in and share something paranormal of your own, we'd love to hear from you. Absolutely love and adore it. So consider that an option throughout the night as you're sitting there thinking, God, should I call in? Yes. The answer is yes. You should.
You should.
That's
without reservation.
Absolutely. And it's a no-brainer, I think. I love it when you guys call in because it's great fun. Oh, I just saw Magoo say you guys. I'm like, why'd you say? I'm already scared, Magoo. I'm already scared. Don't be scared. You are safe.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. You're already safe within the confines of the Paranormal Portal. So we will keep you safe. All right. So without further ado, I guess we're all set to go. So let's dive right in because it's getting creepy.
Let's do this.
Let's get creepy. Oops, wrong one.
Let's get it right.
Yeah. Way to roll. Thank you, Dan Donaldson. I appreciate that. Says Brent, you are the man.
He is a man.
I am currently and completely, as far as I know. Although I'm in touch with my inner woman, but she has a headache tonight, so you're stuck with the man. All right, so let's dive into this. And what better way to dive in, Don?
How is that, Brent?
Than to dive into the news.
The news.
The news. All right, folks, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. What's funny?
There's nothing.
Oh, okay. All right, so...
Mental floss.
Oh, yeah. I hear you. Isn't that a Speedo? No.
Oh, God. That's mental floss.
Sorry, folks. The entertainment's free. So, we don't get paid for the humor.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So,
wow.
All right. The first story tonight is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com, who provides pretty much the hot sheets for the Paranormal Portal news. And whether they know it or not. But they do a great job with these small little articles and catch-ups about what's going on. It's really like a paranormal newspaper. I love this site. And this article tonight is Ghost-like Anomaly Captured on Pub in Closed Caption TV. Now, you're going to think, well, is this the one that we just covered on the Trail Cam Terrace? No, this is not, because it's a completely different anomaly that's captured here. And this is the intriguing anomaly, which looks like a figure with two green orbs, was filmed at the TWA dogs. I don't know what TWA dogs are.
I think it's supposed to be two dogs in.
Oh, gotcha. It's typo. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
That's two dogs. Type A. If it was an O, it'd be correct.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Don. He comes in swinging, folks. All right. It's free entertainment, folks. Just remember that. My mom's probably laughing at
two dogs in what?
My mom loves that kind of humor.
Yep, it's two dogs in.
Two dogs in England. The phenomenon was first noticed by Sharon Hankin, an employee who has worked at the pub for 8 years. She'd been watching the CCTV monitor when something caught her attention. I'd been watching it all night on CCTV and thought, what on earth is that? She said.
She was watching the CCTV instead of the bar.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Your drawer's a little short. I can't help it. I was watching CCTV.
It should have been on the CCTV.
I took a video of the CCTV footage on my phone, and you can see the outline of a body, and it looks like it's got a head and legs. And at the end, as you can see, an arm swinging. When landlord Peter Harding went to investigate the beer garden, he found that nothing was there. With COVID, we've had to have had to have table service, so we have decked out an area at the side of the pub and put artificial grass and put up 2 marquees, he said. And I was going up against one of the marquees, so it was going up against one of the marquees. So whether we have disturbed something in there, the beer garden, I don't know. Looks like something really bright green and fluorescent. The building itself is something of a haunted reputation, with several employees reporting strange sightings over the years, as well as the sounds of disembodied footsteps.
Oh, it is a pub.
Well, sure. Could this footage show the pub's resident ghost, or is there something more conventional, some kind of more conventional explanation? You can check out the video for yourself below, and we're going to do just that right now, folks. So let's take a look at this video and see what the hell's going on. All right. I don't think we need noise, though, do we? Yeah, probably not. I'm going to just take off the noise. There it is, right there, folks. The happy red circle lets you know where all the action is. And there it is. That doesn't look like a cobweb.
No?
No.
Did you see that orb float by?
I saw a dot float by, a dust anomaly.
What? Yeah.
Well, at the very end, it really looked like something, though, didn't it?
You know what? You know what it looks like to me? It looks like a glow-in-the-dark patch on somebody's back.
Oh.
That's what it looks like to me.
So you think that could be it? Like it's just a decal of some kind?
Yeah.
Oh. I wonder how they show up, and I'm sure this is probably IR, right?
What the hell is that, though?
I don't know. That's the problem, is we would really look at this with any kind of
Critical eye.
Yeah, you'd need to know what it is you're looking at, and I don't really know. I don't really have any point of reference for this, but it's peculiar. I'll say that.
That is true. But I think it's like a glow-in-the-dark patch.
It could be, yeah.
Maybe glowing in a black light on somebody's shirt or something like that.
That could very well be it. You might be right on it. I don't know. It's very curious, though, but that's our first article for the night here on the news.
And may I make a addendum? It is Twa Dogs, TWA Dogs in Keswick in the Lake District. So it is not 2 dogs, it's Twa Dogs. So it's not a typo or a type A.
I wonder what twa means. Is that, I mean, I'm to keep thinking of like un, deux, trois, like 3, but that's TROIS.
Well, how about 3 dogs night? 3 dogs in?
Maybe.
3 dogs.
Yeah.
It still doesn't come out any better.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever it is, there you have it, folks. That's an apparent ghostly anomaly captured on CCTV at Twa Dogs Pub in England.
There you go.
Okay, that's the first one. We got more to go. Lots more. This one's kind of wild. I don't know why this is a mutant. I don't know if this is intentional or not, but have you ever heard of a bipedal sheep?
A bipedal sheep?
Yeah.
No. Is that a sheep man? Is that a new cryptid?
It could be, except it doesn't look much like a man. Just looks like a sheep with 2 legs. And it comes from unexplainedmysteries.com. A mutant lamb learns how to walk on 2 legs. There you go, bipedal. Right there, folks.
That's from China.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
They borrowed the 2 legs.
Yeah.
Can I have these?
We just want the back legs, not the front ones.
They don't need their legs.
Yeah. A young sheep at a farm in China has overcome the odds to gain its mobility using only its 2 legs. Can you imagine how much time it took for that thing to learn?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they got a foot. They're sitting on these little pegs.
Yeah.
Those little hooves. And it's balancing. Using only its 2 front legs. 2 front legs. There's no rear legs. Okay.
All I want for Christmas is 2 rear legs.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
Just those old, like those butt hammocks with wheels on them. Just something. A young sheep at a farm in China has overcome the odds to gain its mobility. Only use 2 front legs, using only the 2 front legs. The indomitable lamb, which lives in Hulunbuir, Mongolia, in northern China, was sadly born with 2 malformed hind legs, making it impossible to walk on all fours like normal sheep. For many animals, this would have spelt almost certain disaster, but for this particular lamb, failure was never an option. Very quickly, it had learned how to walk around on just its 2 front legs. Video footage showing the plucky young sheep walking around the farm this way has since gone viral, demonstrating just how resilient the natural world can be. Mm-hmm. According to its owner, to stand up, it moves its front knees, and then performs a little jump.
Huh.
That is really cool. Sadly, despite gaining its mobility, the young sheep has since died at around 40 days old. It is understood that a buildup of gas inside of its body was responsible. Oh, that's sad. But there you have it. Do you want to watch it?
If you feel like it.
I kind of am curious now.
Well,
it's not really paranormal, but it's not normal. So let's take a look at it. Oh, let's not look at that though. All right, there it is. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's got these little rear legs.
Yeah.
They're there. They're just.
Yeah, they're just stunted.
Yeah, very stunted. Huh.
It's a low rider.
Oh, wow. There's look at that
through
though.
That fence.
Good for him. Wow. He's making it work too.
Yeah.
All the other sheep are like, hey, how'd you get in here? Oh, there you go, folks.
So so it does a little hop with its little legs and pushes its butt end up. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, you gotta give them credit for the, even though it only lived a short while.
Right.
It was. Look at that going down. Okay. He could just run over. He's like, hey guys, come on. Come on, guys. That's cute.
Julia says, looks like me when I'm drunk.
I don't know what to say to that, Julia. But thank you for sharing. All right. So there's another miracle in nature, overcoming adversity. I think about that. That's there's a black bear that's been caught on camera. And I think it's in New England somewhere, but it's a black bear, but it had something happen to its front paws. So it is constantly running around on 2 legs.
Oh.
And doing really quite well. Something happened, some accident, or perhaps they were malformed since birth. But it's amazing how animals compensate. Yeah, it's not like they don't need pep talks and stuff. They just like, well, I want to live. That's it. That's pretty cool. You got to respect that.
Yeah, no doubt.
They don't need counseling. They don't need Prozac. They just do it.
They don't have safe spaces.
They don't, as far as I know. Now, the animal kingdom is safe space free. But let's keep going here, folks. We got more. But wait, there's more.
But wait,
there's more. Here's the more. And if you haven't heard the news lately, you might want to get a little informed. I don't know what's going on here, but I caught a map that showed this pattern of suspected possible places where this could come down, but it's an out-of-control rocket is fallen to Earth.
Where the hell did rocket come from?
Oh, let's talk about that.
Well, that explains it.
A Chinese rocket that is currently in a failing orbit is likely to at least partially survive re-entry and fall to Earth. The Long March 5B...
Long March, I bet.
Let's call it Long March. Has launched, which launched from Wangchan in Huanan, I don't know how to pronounce this. Hainan, province, in April 29th, had carried the first module of the Tianhe space station, China's latest orbital outpost, into Earth's orbit. Upon completing this task, however, the 30-meter rocket has since entered an unstable orbit, and it looks as though it's likely to re-enter the atmosphere and crash into the planet's surface.
Oh, boy.
It's potentially not good, said Harvard astrophysicist
potentially not
Jonathan McDowell.
Wow.
So you need a Harvard astrophysicist to say that.
and he said to use such proper English.
I know. He really nailed that whole thing.
I see that.
That takes out all the guesswork. Let's ask the Harvard guy. He's not good.
Well, it's not good.
Thank you. The last time they launched a Long March 5B rocket, They ended up with big long rods of metal flying through the sky and damaging several buildings in the Ivory Coast. Most of it burned up, but there were these enormous pieces of metal that hit the ground, and we're very lucky no one was hurt. Yeah, no kidding. Over the last few days, the orbital altitude of the rocket has dropped by 80 kilometers, and ground observations have indicated that it is hurtling uncontrollably through space.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, sounds like me through life. When it does come down, it's unclear exactly where it will land, with potential areas it will hit ranges from New York and the United States to Wellington, New Zealand.
Well, if it hit New York, I'd be okay.
Oh, pff, Don.
What?
That's not okay.
Well, it's not the West Coast.
No, but it's the East Coast. They're still our brothers over there.
Yeah, all right.
Unsurprisingly, the international community has condemned China's lack of care on the matter.
Go figure.
They're just like, oh, rocket's bad. On to next. What's bad is that it's really negligent on China's part, said McDowell. Things more than 10 tons,
Wow.
We don't let it fall out of the sky uncontrolled deliberately. As things stand, it is estimated that the rocket will reach the ground sometime around May 10th.
Wow.
Let's hope that it does not hit any heavily populated areas when that happens.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, folks, but that's absolutely terrifying. 10-ton rocket. I hope it's all out of fuel. You know, I mean, that would just be horrible.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be hurtling the Earth at terminal velocity.
I know, but could you imagine if it was full of liquid hydrogen or whatever?
That would probably blow in re-entry.
Well, you'd think, but
we hope.
I don't know. Yeah, that's horrifying, because then it becomes a bomb. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's go back to the news board in here and pull up our next adventure in news. And what?
It depends on what kind of probes.
No peeking, Don. No peeking, sir. All right, so the next one is from Unexplained Mysteries, and you'll understand what Don meant in just a second here. Could we find alien probes in our solar system?
Is it somewhere around Uranus?
Oh, no, you didn't. Yes, he did, folks.
You knew I was going to.
There's no question why Don's in that seat, folks. All the color he brings to the show. The in-depth commentary and thought-provoking dialogue is just what makes this show amazing. Makes my job just
that much harder.
Painless or painful. Anyway, could we find alien probes in our solar system? A NASA report published in 2018 takes the idea of finding alien technosignatures very seriously indeed. The search for evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations is perhaps one of the most important endeavors mankind has ever undertaken. It has the potential to not only answer the age-old question of whether or not we are alone in the universe, but to also fundamentally change how we see ourselves and what it means to be a member of a wide-reaching cosmic community. Actually finding evidence of alien... Sorry, got to give myself the Heimlich.
Oh, God. Would you like a Chinese probe?
No, I would not. I don't know where the hell I was. Actually finding evidence of alien life, however, is proving to be easier said than done.
No kidding.
Yeah, I know. It's like, really? Oh, really? In the 2018 70-page document, NASA and the search for technosignatures, scientists discussed how evidence of an alien civilization might be found and what form it might take. Intriguingly, the space agency has considered numerous possibilities, ranging from detecting technosignatures around distant stars to finding an alien probe in our own solar system. Did you chuckle again?
No.
Oh. It's even possible that the Earth itself hosts such artifacts, the authors wrote. It's certainly an interesting idea, and if we were to assume that an alien civilization knows of our existence, it's not unreasonable to imagine that they would send space probes to investigate. Yes, I think the idea of searching our solar neighborhood for evidence of extraterrestrial technology is worth doing, astrobiologist Dr. Jacob Hack-Misra, I presume that's Hack or Hawk or something, told the debrief. We do not know how to how prevalent life or technology is in our galaxy, and so we cannot easily assign any probabilities to say technology is more or less likely on an exoplanet versus in our solar system. Mm-hmm. There you have it. I don't know. No answers, lots of questions. I was expecting some kind of insight, but wow. Could they be here? Yeah, sure. I don't know. The end. Thank you.
Check the seventh planet from the sun.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that insightful dialogue, Doc. But there's that. I don't know.
Oh, spirit stalker. No.
All right. Let's get
I don't have cheeky humor.
You don't?
Rachel's accusing me again.
Is she? Oh, okay.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Well, it's absolutely fine. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude tonight's edition of The News.
The News.
Whoops. I got to do this first, don't I?
Wow.
Where's my buttons?
There's a process.
There is. Sorry. There's a recipe for this. Here it goes. You'd swear this was my first night. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Take it easy on him. This is his first night.
It's my first night. Just be gentle with me. That's all I ask. I'm new to this.
Watch it with those alien probes.
Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. That still cracks me up.
Oh, good, Don.
Gotta wet my whistle after all that done. All right, so we got a bunch more stuff to get to, and that didn't take too long, did it? What time is it? Where the hell's my mouse? There it is.
It's in your hand.
It's got 3 screens, and my pointer gets lost in them.
He's lost his pointer.
I've lost my motivation. But we've got a lot of stuff to get through here. Let me see where we're going to go next. I've got to look through my stuff, Don.
Oh, no.
I've got lots of stuff. Here's one that I want to talk about tonight.
Okay.
Because this is a curiosity to me, and this is one that I'm having trouble with regularly. It's not that I don't believe people are seeing what they're seeing. I just don't know how they're seeing what they're seeing. Because in case what we're talking about is the pterodactyls. People are seeing these dinosaur birds, and apparently very close. And unmistakable. And I don't know what to make of that because I try to think, how could there be dinosaur birds here? Because clearly it seems that they all died out with the rest of the dinosaurs back in the day, most of the dinosaurs. But there are rumors of these surviving pockets of them. Could they be actual descendants of the dinosaurs, or could they be some kind of trans-dimensional thing that's poking through into our world? Jesus, it's like being in high school. But, I wonder about that, because if they were trans-dimensional, now, the Earth, when the dinosaurs were here, was a very different place.
Right.
The oxygen in our atmosphere was much higher than it is in our world now. So if something did happen to come through some kind of weird dimensional gateway, it would hit our atmosphere and probably go unconscious, because it would just be like, a fish out of water. Like,
right.
It wouldn't be able to meet the needs as it's been conditioned, from its birth and until its present age. So, if it was some kind of dimensional gateway, it poked through and then they get sucked back somehow. That's curious, but could that be just based on the differences of our Earth now versus the Earth then?
Well, I bet you the air pressure is a lot different too,
Probably.
Because, we've got this, global warming thing going on.
Sure.
And we got this hole in the ozone going on. And we got no oxygen. Like you said, it was oxygen rich back then because of the giant plants and all the giant greenery.
Right.
And it flies in, and like a fish out of water, like you said, and down it goes.
You'd think it would just go unconscious, yeah?
Yeah.
I would too. I don't know how that could be. And if it did, then we would recover it, right? So it would be recoverable unless it was vibrationally unable to exist in this world, which is maybe that's a possibility, but I don't know. But anyway, I found an article here that says, "Are pterodactyl sightings real?" And I thought, let's find out what they have to say. So that's what we're going to do right now, folks. And this is coming from liveabout.com. And it's an article by Stephen Wagner from January 6th, 2019. It says, they're the largest creatures to ever attain flight, with wingspans reaching nearly 40 feet. God, they're huge. Pterosaurs ruled the prehistoric skies for over 100 million years, until they died out with the dinosaurs about 65 million years ago. Or did they? There have been many modern-day sightings of creatures that, by eyewitness description, sound like pterosaurs or pterodactyl sightings. There are also intriguing rock carvings and even photographs that suggest that this species of amazing flying monster could have survived extinction, could have soared through the skies of the southwestern United States until very recently, and might still exist in small numbers in remote parts of the world. What are pterosaurs? Pterosaurs were not dinosaurs, but a family of large flying reptiles. Pterosaur means winged lizard, and that includes the pterodactyl and the pterodon. The pterosaur stood on two rather spindly legs and had wings composed of leathery membrane that stretched from the animal's extremely long fourth finger to its body. Despite their appearance, they were not related to birds and were highly successful flyers that might have dined on fish and insects. Modern pterodactyl sightings. Although there seems to be no hard evidence that pterosaurs did not actually die out millions of years ago, no pterosaurs have ever been captured and no bodies have ever been found. Sightings have persisted. Stories of flying reptiles have been recorded for many hundreds of years. Some think that tales of the mythical dragons of lore of many cultures around the world would be attributed to the sightings of pterosaurs. Here are some of the more modern accounts. May 1961, New York State. A businessman flying his private plane over the Hudson River claims that he was buzzed by a large flying creature that he said looked like a pterodactyl. In the early 1960s in California, God bless it, a couple driving through Trinity National Forest reported seeing a silhouette of a giant bird that they estimated to have the wingspan of 14 feet. They later described it as resembling a pterodactyl. January 1976, Harlingen, Texas, teens Jackie Davis and Tracy Lawson reported seeing a bird on the ground that stood 5 feet tall, was dark in color with a bald head, and a face like a gorilla's with a sharp 6-inch long beak. What the hell? A face like a gorilla?
Wow.
With a sharp 6-inch long beak. Subsequent investigation by their parents uncovered tracks that had 3 toes and were 8 inches across.
Wow.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's actually pretty big.
It is. February 1976, San Antonio, Texas. 3 elementary school teachers saw what they described as a pterodactyl swooping low over their cars as they drove. They said its wingspan was between 15 and 20 feet. One of the teachers commented that it glided through the air on huge bony wings like a bat. September 1982, Los Fresnos, Texas. An ambulance driver named James Thompson was stopped while driving on Highway 100 by his sighting of a large bird-like object. Flying low over the area, he described it as a black or grayish with rough texture but no feathers, had 5 to 6 foot wingspan, which really isn't that much. That's like an eagle. A hump on the back of its head, and almost no neck at all. And after consulting some books to identify the creature, he decided it most looked like a pterosaur. Africa's Kangamoto. While other reports of pterosaur-like creatures have come out of Arizona, Mexico, and Crete, it is out of Central Africa that some of the most interesting anecdotes have come. While traveling through Zambia in 1923, Frank H. Mellon collected reports from natives of an aggressive flying reptile they called Kangamoto, which means overwhelmer of boats. The natives, who were occasionally tormented by these creatures, described them as being featherless with smooth skin, having a beak full of teeth, and a wingspan of between 4 and 7 feet. Again, that's small. 4 is like almost an owl.
Right.
When shown illustrations of pterosaurs, Melland reported the natives identified them as most resembling Kongomodo. In 1925, a native man was allegedly attacked by a creature that he identified as a pterosaur. This occurred near a swamp in Rhodesia, where the man suffered a large wound to his chest that he said was caused by the monster's long beak. In the late 1980s, noted cryptozoologist Roy Mackle led an expedition to Namibia, which he had heard reports of a prehistoric-looking creature with a wingspan of up to 30 feet. Photo evidence. If pterosaurs really died out with the dinosaurs and their fossil remains were not discovered until 1784, then a depiction of one could not possibly exist in an ancient rock carving. Yet a pictograph found high on a cliff face near Thompson, Utah, seems to show just that. While many experts believe the drawing is a bird, the beak, head, prominence, wings, and legs also look very much like those of a pterosaur. Another fascinating tale of a pterosaur literally coming out of stone dates back to 1856 in France. Workmen were digging through Jurassic area limestone for a railway tunnel between the St. Desire and Nancy lines when a large boulder of limestone was split open. The workers were astonished to see a large winged creature come tumbling out. They said it fluttered its wings, let out a croaking noise, and then dropped dead at their feet.
Oh, wow.
The creature had thick black, leathery skin, a beak full of sharp teeth, long talons for feet, membrane-like wings that spanned 10 feet, 7 inches, by their measure. The body of the creature was taken to a nearby town of Gray, according to the story, where it was identified as a pterodactyl by a student of paleontology.
Wow.
As reported in the Illustrated London News of February 9th, 1856, the rock in which the creature had apparently been entombed for millions of years contained a precise mold of its body.
Wow.
That's crazy. An April 25th, 1890 edition of the Tombstone Epitaph ran a story of 2 Arizona ranchers who claimed to have chased on horseback a flying monster resembling a huge alligator with extremely elongated tail and an immense pair of wings. True to the spirit of the West, they shot the creature. They shot it. Taking measurements, they reported the monster was 92 feet long,
Wow.
with a 160-foot wingspan and a mouth full of sharp teeth. The story is not taken seriously by many researchers today, but it corresponds loosely with the story about a thunderbird that was allegedly shot in the same area in 1886 and dragged into town to be photographed. Several paranormal researchers claim to recall seeing that photo, but don't know where, and the photo has not been seen since. So could there be a photo floating around of this? Wow. Hard to say.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Don?
Well, first of all, 160 feet. Are you kidding me? And then, so let's talk about some modern day large birds. Let's
Okay.
talk about the California condor.
Sure.
Okay, they can reach. They get some wingspan up there. They get up to like 20 feet.
Okay.
Across, and that's basically a giant vulture.
Yeah.
So they have a bald head, long beak, because they use the beak to rend and tear, carrion, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then also you've got the turkey vulture, which is pretty large. Now, when it was talking about like, oh, this one had like a 5-foot wingspan. Yeah, no, that's a large owl, but
Yeah.
Owls don't have that bald head, the bald face. And what's with the one with the gorilla face?
I don't know. That's a weird one. But only a 6-inch sharp beak.
It's a bat squatch. It's a bat squatch.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, so you wanted to, we still have birds from antiquity, let's say.
Okay.
Not necessarily from the dinosaur age, but they are descendant of some kind of dinosaur.
Sure.
Because they say that dinosaurs are, very like birds, our modern day birds.
Sure, I think the Tyrannosaurus Rex is closely related to chickens.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really a
They're
funny
tasty.
twist of fate.
Yeah, it's like, now we're going to call you chicken.
Yeah. Did you have fun? Did you? Did you?
Yeah, now
Okay.
you're just a little pecker.
Now it's your turn.
That's called karma.
Here's your key predator, Colonel Sanders. It's a little older guy with a white beard.
So there's some of my thoughts on that. So
It is. It's very curious to me. Again, I don't know, folks, but here's the thing. I have to believe, and I've said this on the show before, so forgive me redundancy, but if they were here, this is not a high functioning intelligence species of animals. So
they hit a window.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, look, there's more trees through that shiny part, and then they crash through houses and stuff. But they're not going to know to really avoid people.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe that they could be that intelligent. I mean, maybe it's possible, but even then, how long would that memory last? Would that be a memory they would retain through their species? And I would think it's just going to be motivated by its needs.
Right.
It's going to need to eat. It's going to need to mate and nest of some kind, and it's going to need to procreate. And that's about all the function it's going to need, and it's going to be focused on. So it's not going to care if there's some weird bipedal things walking around or driving cars and stuff. It's just going to worry about its needs.
It might swoop down and pick you up and eat you, but
yeah, it might try.
Different.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, they're not going to avoid people actively. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, they.
The other thing, right? And the other thing is if they're dying, they're not going to bury each other's dead. It's like, oh, one of ours died. Let's bury it quick before they find it. So it's not going to be thinking like a Bigfoot or Dogman or something like that.
Or even like an elephant for that matter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be functioning on that level. It's just going to die, and it's going to fall, and people are going to find it eventually, or find them eventually, or skeleton remains or something.
Right.
But none have ever been found. So I don't know what to think about it. So if they're here, where are they? They should be able to be tracked or found or something.
Yeah. Let's call in Marshall Will and Holly.
I thought that was a title at first. I was like, who's Marshall Willenholly? Oh, yeah, Land Lost. I got it. Yeah.
But we've talked about that before. Is like, where are they coming from? Are they coming through a portal that may be connecting the older dimensions?
Sure.
We've talked about maybe them coming from Hollow Earth. Mm-hmm. We've talked about, because we've talked about the stingray.
Right.
And the 1,500 new species of stingray that all of a sudden, popped up in like 1 year.
Yeah.
Where the heck did they come from? So, it's there's all these questions and no real answers.
And no real answers, folks. But, I guess that's par for the course with the paranormal anyway. But it's just a matter of, there's lots of questions. Some of them, I mean, you can't suspend logic just for the sake of the phenomena. It's like, sure, people are seeing something,
right?
But I'm not saying they didn't see what they say they saw. But I got a lot of questions that
produce some evidence,
right?
A toe,
something.
Yeah,
some piece of proof would be nice, or some scat. Dig up or watch them until they poop. I don't know.
That would suck if it landed on you. It's like clunk.
It'd be like a brick. Wham. But there you have it. I think it's interesting. It's something that comes up a lot in the paranormal, and I don't know. It's not without its curiosities. There's maybe some explanation I'm not thinking of, and if you think of it, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, because it just doesn't make much sense to me. And it doesn't, again, it's not me saying it's not possible, but it's me saying I don't understand. And that's what my questions are about. It's not me being a naysayer or a debunker or something.
Right.
I'm just asking the questions that are occurring to me, because that's where I'm hitting a roadblock before I can fully subscribe to the phenomena.
Right.
But again, I keep an open mind. I'm not saying it couldn't be possible or isn't possible. We've had guests on the show who said they've seen thunderbirds and stuff.
Right.
And maybe that's what they're seeing, is some thunderbird. then maybe thunderbirds are these, mutations of things like eagles and such that just for some reason have experienced some form of gigantism. Mm-hmm. There's no reason that they couldn't also experience that just like human beings do.
Right.
And perhaps that's where the legend of the Thunderbirds comes from. Maybe it's some other just very, very skittish private kind of bird. I don't know. But I do believe these things are out there. I just don't understand what they are. So that I think is interesting. Now we're at a point of conundrum here, because we're about 8 minutes out of the hour for the next hour, and we've got a lot of things to get through, and I don't want to crack open anything huge, but right. I think we'll dive into this.
Yeah.
I think this is another one from liveabout.com, and this has to do with the Skinwalkers, folks. This one's pretty creepy. I don't know. I think we've read a version of this, possibly a paraphrased version of this, but I found this longer version. I'm not sure though. It could be absolutely new and unique. So let's look at this. And this is an article from, again, liveabout.com. Are Skinwalkers real or legend? A family encounters a creature on the dark side of Navajo legend. From the dark side of the Navajo legend. And again, from Stephen Wagner. I like this guy. I'm not sure who he is, but he does a good job as well. All right, let's get into this. It says in Navajo legend, a skinwalker is a medicine man who has gone to the dark side and is able to shapeshift into animals and other people. By night, they transform to and inflict pain and suffering. Did an Arizona family encounter a skinwalker on an eerie, deserted highway through Navajo country? A night journey through Navajo country. All her life, Frances T. has seen things, heard things, and felt them. Born into a family of sensitives, this was rather normal. In my family, you were considered odd if you didn't experience abnormal things. Frances said, we never talked much about our experiences or our feelings about them. We just accepted them as normal, which in fact to us they are. But nothing could have prepared her family for what they encountered on a dark, desolate road in Arizona 20 years ago. It's a mysterious and traumatizing event that haunts them to this day.
Hotel California.
Frances' family had moved from Wyoming to Flagstaff, Arizona in 1978. Shortly after her high school graduation, sometime between 1982 and 1983, 20-year-old Frances, her father, mother, and younger brother took a road trip back to Wyoming in the family pickup truck. Wow. In the 70s? God, they were packed in there, huh?
Or they were all in the back.
Oh, maybe there was a topper, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The trip was a vacation to visit with friends in and around their old hometown. The only member of the family not present was her older brother, who was in the Army stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The course along Route 163 took them through the Navajo Indian Reservation and through the town of Kayenta, just south of the Utah border, and the magnificent monuments, Valley Navajo Tribal Park. Anyone who has lived in Arizona for any length of time knows that the Indian Reservation can be a beautiful, if harsh, place for non-natives. Many strange things happen out there, Frances says. Even my friend, a Navajo, warned us of traveling through the reservation, especially at night. Along with the warning, Francis's Native American friend blessed the family, and they were on their way. The trip to Wyoming was uneventful, but the trip back to Arizona along the same route more than justified the warning from Francis's friend. It still gives me goosebumps, she says, to this day. I have major anxiety attacks when I have to travel through the North Country at night. I avoid it at all costs. It was a warm summer night around 10 p.m. when the family's pickup was heading south on 163 about 20 to 30 miles from Kayenta. It was a moonless night on this lonely stretch of road, so pitch black that they could only see a few feet beyond the headlights. So dark that closing their eyes actually brought relief from the fathomless black. They had been driving for hours with Frances' father at the wheel, and the vehicle's passengers had long ago settled into quiet. Frances and her father sandwiched her mother in the truck's cab, while her brother enjoyed the night air in the back of the pickup. Suddenly, Frances' father broke the silence. "We have company," he said. Frances and her mother turned around and looked out the back slider window. Sure enough, a pair of headlights appeared over the crest of the hill, and then disappeared as the car went down, then reappeared. Frances commented to her father that it's nice to have company on this stretch of road. If something went wrong, neither vehicle and passengers would be alone. Thunder began to rumble from the west clouded sky. The parents decided that their son should come up into the cab before he got soaking wet from any rain that might fall. Frances opened the slider window and her little brother crawled in, squeezing between her and her mother. Frances turned to close the window and again noticed the headlights from the following car. "They're still behind us," her father said. "They must be going to either Flagstaff or Phoenix. We'll probably meet them in Cayenta when we stop to fuel up." Frances watched as the car's headlight crested another hill and began its descent until it disappeared. She watched for them to reappear and watched. They didn't reappear. She told her father that the car should have crested over the hill, but hadn't. Maybe they slowed down, he suggested, or pulled over. Well, that was possible, but it just didn't make sense to Frances. Why in the hell would a driver slow down, or yet worse, stop at the bottom of a hill in the middle of the night with nothing around for miles and miles? Frances asked her father, "You think they'd want to keep in sight of the car in front of them just in case anything happened?" "People do weird stuff when they're driving," her father replied, so Frances kept watching, turning around every few minutes to check for those headlights, but they never did reappear. When she turned to look just one last time, she noticed that the pickup was slowing down. Turning back to look out the windshield, she saw that they were rounding a sharp bend in the road, and her father had slowed the truck to about 55 miles an hour. And from that moment, time itself seemed to slow down for Frances. The atmosphere changed somehow, taking on an otherworldly quality. Frances turned her head to look out the passenger window when her mother screamed and her father cried out, "Jesus Christ, what the hell is that?" Frances didn't know what was happening, but one hand instinctively reached over and held down the button for the door lock, and the other tightly grabbed the door handle. She braced her back against her small brother and held firmly onto the door, still not knowing quite why. Her brother was now yelling, "What is it? What is it?" Her father immediately flipped on the interior cab light, and Frances could see that he was petrified. "I have never, ever seen my father that scared in my whole life," Frances says. Now, when he came home from his tours in Vietnam, not when he came home from his tours in Vietnam, not when he came home from special assignments, not even when someone tried to firebomb our house. Frances' father was white as a ghost. She could see the hair on the back of his neck standing straight out, like a cat's, and so was the hair on his arms. She could even see the goosebumps on his skin. Panic was filling the small cab, and Frances' mother was so frightened that she began shouting in her native Japanese, in a highly squeaky voice as she frantically wrung her hands. The little boy just kept saying, "Oh my God." From out of the ditch, a Skinwalker. As the pickup sped around the bend of the road, Frances could see that the shoulder dropped off deeply into a ditch. Her father slammed on the brakes to prevent the truck from swerving into the ditch. As the pickup was slowing to a stop, something leaped out of the ditch at the side of the truck, and now Frances could clearly see what had started the panic. It was black and hairy and was eye level with the passengers in the cab. If this was a man, this was like no man Frances had ever seen. Yet despite its monstrous appearance, whatever this thing was, it wore a man's clothes. Wow. It had on white and blue checkered shirt and long pants, I think jeans, Frances testifies. Its arms were raised over its head, almost touching the top of the cab. The creature remained there for a few seconds, looking into the pickup. And then the pickup was past it. Frances could not believe what she had seen. It looked like a hairy man or a hairy animal in man's clothing, she said, but it didn't look like an ape or anything like it. Its eyes were yellow and its mouth was open. Although time seemed frozen and distorted in this moment of fantastic horror, it was all over within a few minutes. The headlights, her little brother coming into the cab, and the thing. By the time the family reached Cayenta for gas, they had finally calmed down. Frances and her father climbed out of the pickup truck and checked the side of the truck to see if the creature had done any damage. They were surprised to see that the dust on the side of the truck was undisturbed, and so was the dust on the hood of the and roof of the truck. In fact, they found nothing out of the ordinary. No blood, no hair, nothing. The family stretched their legs and rested at Kayenta for about 20 minutes. The car that had been following them never did show up. It's as if the car simply vanished. They drove home to Flagstaff with the cab light on and the doors securely locked. I wish I could say this was the end of the story, Frances said, but it's not.
Wow.
A few nights later, at around 11 p.m., Frances and her brother were awakened by the sounds of drumming. They looked out his bedroom window into the backyard, which was surrounded by a fence. At first, they saw nothing but the forest beyond the fence. And then the drumming grew louder, and 3 or 4 men appeared behind the wooden fence, and it looked like they were trying to climb the fence but couldn't quite manage to bring their legs up high enough and swing over, Frances says. Unable to get into the yard, the men began to chant. Frances was so scared she slept with her little brother that night. Sometime later, Frances sought out her Navajo friend, hoping she could offer some explanation for these strange incidents. She told Frances that it was a skinwalker that had tried to attack her family. Skinwalkers are creatures of Navajo legend, witches that can shapeshift into animals. That a skinwalker attacked them was quite unusual. Frances' friend told her, as it had been a long time since she has heard of any activity about skinwalkers, and that they normally don't bother non-natives. Frances took her friend back by the fence where she had seen the strange men trying to climb in. The Navajo woman considered the scene for a moment and then realized that 3 or 4 skinwalkers had visited the house. She said that they wanted the family but could not gain access because something was protecting the family. Frances was astonished. Why? She asked, why would the skinwalkers want her family? Your family has a lot of power, the Navajo woman said, and that they wanted it. Again, she said that skinwalkers usually don't bother non-natives, but she believed that they wanted the family enough to expose themselves, and later that day, she blessed the perimeter of the property, the house, the vehicles, and the family. We haven't been bothered by the skinwalkers since then, Frances said. But then again, I haven't been back to Kayenta. I've gone through other towns on the reservation, yes, at night. But I'm not alone. I carry a weapon, and I carry protective amulets.
Wow.
Yeesh.
That's scary.
It is. That is very crazy.
Wow. That's probably one of the best skinwalker ones I've come across.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's kind of believable.
Right. It is. That's absolutely terrifying, though. My God. Oof. I don't know, Don. What would you do if let's say you're driving back home, and all of a sudden, running alongside your truck is some beast in man's clothing?
Well, it was a vacation, right?
I guess
little staycation getaway kind of thing, right? So, do I have extra undies packed?
We can say sure.
Okay, so I would probably, when I hit that gas station, probably be changing undies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a creepy one, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's very creepy. I don't know. I wonder that again. The skinwalker is a pretty unique type of phenomena in that it builds or it exists as an observation of a legend, but
right.
It's a legend people are experiencing. So you can't just dismiss it. And as crazy it is for us Westerners to consider people changing into something else. I mean, come on. I mean, these stories are as old as time of people shifting into something else. I don't know what it means. Is it just a tulpa kind of manifestation? Is it a real manifestation? I don't know. I think it's probably some kind of tulpa manifestation, but it's, imbued with a lot of apparently dark power and, nonetheless lethal, whether or not it's actually a person changing into an animal or it's a person generating a representation of themselves as an animal. Either way, it seems to be very real for the people experiencing it.
Right.
Now, they did say they hit this thing, but there was nowhere on the car that showed
any damage.
They hit this thing. So I'm kind of leaning towards tulpa, but I don't know.
Well, you know, having been told, you know, that you don't drive through this area at night.
Yeah.
If you do, you need to be blessed and you need to be aware of what's going on.
Yep.
And, you know, so there's, you know, a lot of power and suggestion in that could, you know, very well create the tulpa. So
that's true.
I absolutely agree. It could be a tulpa.
I agree too.
So there you go.
There you go. Now, folks, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready for a brand new segment here on the Paranormal Portal?
Do you want to take a quick break before you do that?
How about we take a quick break before the brand new segment on the Paranormal Portal? And then we'll get into the second half of the show. And just know the phone call lines are open. But, you know, call in if you'd like. 720-923-0500. We're going to get into some time slips, folks. And we'll dive into that in just a couple minutes here. Just give us a moment. I got to powder my nose.
Okay.
You don't believe me, Don?
I believe you.
Okay.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking gas. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
we're back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second hour of the Paranormal Portal tonight is now officially underway.
Officially.
And it's my great pleasure to introduce a new guest contributor to the show. He's actually contributed in the past as well. But,
Yes, he has.
But tonight he's contributing as well. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me unveil the brand new show segment to the Paranormal Portal. This is going to be a very, very good experience. I hope you guys are ready. That's all. I'm excited. I'm already excited to showcase this. So here we go.
The Bermuda Triangle. It's known for swallowing over 2,000 ships and 200 aircraft over the centuries.
1272, switching, good day, Envoy 3412. 13,000, pilot discretion, 3023, Envoy 3412. Pilot discretion at 13,000, 3025, Envoy 3042.
On December 4th, 1970, Bruce Germer took off in his Beechcraft Bonanza. On board, Bruce had two passengers, his father and business partner. They took off from Andros Island in the Bahamas and headed northwest for the Florida coast. This was a very typical flight for Bruce, as he had made this trip a dozen times. On average, it took him about an hour and a half from Andros to Miami. Bruce took off and started gaining altitude. At around 1,000 feet, Bruce noticed this weird black cloud, and it seemed to be growing. Bruce didn't have a choice. He flew into the black cloud. And he came out the other end just fine. At 11,000 feet, Bruce noticed another very strange cloud. It was massive. Bruce had no choice but to fly into this strange cloud too as well. At that moment, it became dark as night around the aircraft. There was no light coming through. But this wasn't a storm cloud, and it was not raining. All of a sudden, Bruce saw a flash of light. It would appear and vanish, just like lightning, but this wasn't lightning. The flashes were so bright, it lit up everything around the plane. Bruce continued to fly his plane for another 30 minutes when he realized this was the same cloud he had flown through the first time. But now it was in the shape of a tornado. He was almost flying through the center of it. Bruce said it was about a mile wide, and it seemed to be endless. About a minute later, Bruce saw light at the end of the tunnel. Bruce kept the yoke straight ahead. He was almost out of this nightmare. But just then, unexplainable things started happening. The opening of the tunnel started closing in on itself. The navigational instruments on the plane started going nuts. The compass was spinning by itself, counterclockwise.
Here.
It was like the plane was being operated by something else. Right before the tunnel closed on itself, Bruce was able to break free of this weird fog. Bruce would later say, after he came out of the storm, for about 5 or 10 seconds his plane seemed to be weightless. The clouds dispersed, and Bruce was now in this weird grayish haze. After letting out a sigh of relief, Bruce contacted ground control, and he wanted them to determine his location.
November 9815, Link, Port Australia, go ahead.
Ground control was confused. Bruce's plane was not showing up on radar.
9815, let me say last known position.
It's almost like he was invisible. A moment later, ground control contacted Bruce and let him know he was showing up on radar now. He was actually in Miami airspace. Bruce was shocked by this information. It couldn't be true. The distance the Beechcraft was supposed to cover was about 250 miles. Remember, the whole trip generally took about 90 minutes, assuming there was no hiccups. But this time, it only took 47 minutes. This model of aircraft can only cruise about 180 miles per hour. When you do the math, you realize this is physically impossible. Bruce thought the dispatcher must be mistaken. But after the clouds cleared, Bruce realized he was over Miami airspace. After landing the plane, Bruce thought, I gotta solve this mystery. There's no way we got here in this time. After landing, Bruce checked the remaining fuel along with his watch. The plane had not gone through the amount of fuel required for this trip. Bruce had the records pulled from Andros Tower, along with the records from Miami International. Again, the time does not add up. It is physically impossible to make this trip in the amount of time he did it. All the evidence in hand seemed to indicate that Bruce's plane just skipped over almost half of the entire trip. Looking for answers, Bruce took all the evidence to experts and scientists trying to find an answer. No one was able to give Bruce an answer to what happened that day. It's almost like Bruce was able to jump space and time. What really happened on December 4th, 1970?
Wow.
Wow.
That's it, folks. And this has been our first Germer Files.
Germer.
Hope you enjoyed it. That was a hell of a job, man.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
He's,
All right.
He's quite the orator.
He is. All right, let's get on with the show. Might have to find a shorter sound file for that. That rain goes on and on. Or I got to fade it out or something. But yeah, that was an epic journey. He really does create these amazing soundscapes and really like an audio journey. So it's very well done. Great segment. Well, thank you. I wish I could take credit for it, but that's all Mr. Wes Germer. If you're not familiar with Wes Germer, then you must be living under a rock, first of all. Because,
Nowhere near a Sasquatch.
because that is Mr. Sasquatch Chronicles himself. And he let us use that for the show tonight. Thank you, Wes. We appreciate it. That's an epic job. He did another one on Billy the Kid that aired on the Confessionals, and it was amazing. It was really, really well done. It was really well done with so much information regarding Billy the Kid and him perhaps not dying at the hands of Pat Garrett and living into later years. So,
Well, you've seen Young Guns, right?
yep, exactly.
There you go.
That's right. That's
go.
exactly the premise
Lived
of it.
until I think the 70s, right? Is what that
Yeah.
is suggested.
Bushy Bill Roberts or whatever his name was. Yep. Yeah. But if you listen to Wes's takedown and overview of it, he pulled out all kinds of really cool information about the Pat Garrett story and how it falls apart. And he had an author on there who was written a book on the subject, and it was really incredible. Very, very well done. So I'm just honored to feature that one here tonight. So thank you, Wes, for that, and thank you all for tuning in for it. Of course, that's the big thing. That you stick around. You got to stick around. So let's get back into our own stories here. And I've got some time slip stories that I want to go over with y'all.
Well, that's actually a good segue because, talking about the Bermuda Triangle and how exactly, gosh, you're brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
good one.
I tried to make it a smooth transition, but I appreciate that. So let's get into some of these. I got some Bigfoot stuff too, but I don't think we're going to get time for all of it. I think we'll do the time slip things right now. Let me see, where are we? Here we are. Okay. I got to blow the font up on this one. Oof.
Yes, Rachel. Wes is definitely more.
Yeah. It just goes straight. Wes is more. It is, but, let's just move along. I don't even want to comment on that without sounding creepy and weird. I can't even touch it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just leave it lay there. But that was the debut of the Germer files. So, all right. Now the article that I want to go into now deals with some time slips, and this is one that it's what is this? This is forums.digitalspy.com, and I stumbled onto this just doing some time slip searches. And this is a comment that somebody posts, Malcolm Reed posts, and it was from 2014, so it's quite a bit old, and that's why this link doesn't even work that's in here, but let me put it up on screen. But it's time slips, real cases of slipping through time. It says, here's a case from Brechin, a town in Scotland, and this link no longer works, but it says the 2nd of January, 1950, and a cocktail party held 10 miles away in the little town of Brechin. The party was attended by Miss E.F. Smith, a lady then aged about 55, who was a resident of the village of Letham under Denachin Hill. According to her own account, Miss Smith left the party late, having consumed an unspecified quantity of those delicious cocktails. Uh-oh. Driving conditions were extremely poor. It was pitch dark, and a fall of snow had been followed by rain. 2 miles outside of Brechin, Miss Smith skidded her car into a ditch, and she insisted, no question of her skid having been due to her fainting or other lapse of consciousness,
Right.
nor had she been injured in any way or concussed. She had to abandon her car, however, and continue her journey on foot, a distance of about 8 miles. Oof, that's a journey.
Yep.
The paranormal experiences began when Miss Smith was about halfway from the first houses of Letham Village, and it continued until she reached them. This time was getting on for 2 a.m. Peering ahead, she saw a group of lights moving in the distance, which, as she walked on, gradually resolved themselves into shadowy group of figures carrying torches.
Ooh.
Miss Smith says they were obviously looking for their own dead. The one I was watching, the nearest one, would bend down, turn a body over, and then if he didn't like the look of it, he just turned it back on its face and went to the next one. There were several of them, and I suppose they were going to bury them. Miss Smith had long come to the conclusion that she had somehow witnessed groups of Pictish warriors of the late 7th century. That's creepy. That's got to be haunting to see that.
Yeah.
Oof. Wow. And then a case from Liverpool, and this may be the same one. Yeah, the Liverpool one is really famous, but we'll read it again. On a sunny Sunday afternoon In July 1996, Frank and his wife Carol were visiting Liverpool's Bold Street area for some shopping. At Central Station, the pair split up. Carol went to Dylan's bookshop, and Frank went to HMV to look for a CD that he wanted. And as he walked up the incline near the Lyceum Post Office Cafe building that led into Bold Street, Frank suddenly noticed he had entered a strange oasis of quietness. Suddenly, a small box van that looked like something out of the 50s sped across his path, honking its horn as it narrowly missed him. Frank noticed the name on the van's side was Kaplan's, Caplans, and when he looked down, the confused policeman saw that he was unexpectedly standing in the road. The off-duty policeman crossed the road and saw that Dylan's bookstore now had crypts over its entrances. More confused, he looked in to see not books, but women's handbags and shoes. Looking around, Frank realized people were dressed in clothes that appeared to be from the 40s. Suddenly, he spotted a young girl in her early 20s dressed in lime-colored sleeveless top. The handbag she was carrying had a popular brand name on it, which reassured the policeman that maybe he was still partly in 1996. It was a paradox, but he was relieved, and he followed the girl into crypts. As the pair went inside, Frank watched in amazement as the interior of the building completely changed in a flash to that of Dylan's bookshop of 1996. The girl turned to leave, and Frank lightly grasped the girl's arm to attract attention and said, "Did you see that?" And she replied, "Yeah, I thought it was a clothes shop. I was going to look around, but it's a bookshop." These are two events told by real people of real slips through time. What the hell is going on here?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. But those are two great stories. And the first one I'd never heard before. The second one I have.
Right.
It's on most of the time slip sites that deal with the phenomenon. And it is crazy. I mean, it's literally like just a matter of taking a footstep in some direction that maybe, maybe it's like randonauting. Like maybe you did something different than you were supposed to, and all of a sudden it throws the timelines off.
Right.
Because randonauting, if you're not familiar with it, ladies and gentlemen, it's an application on your phone that's supposed to just randomly generate a destination in your area. And the idea is that reality is programmed to what we usually do and what we normally do. But by randonauting, you're totally throwing things on its head and doing something completely unexpected. And you may find some surreal results.
Right.
So what if that's what this is? What if this is just some extreme randonaut experience that, in reality just stood on its head?
Yeah, it's like, you get down the road and you're just kind of walking along, and all of a sudden you just kind of trip on your feet, and you're like, oh, okay. And then turn left instead of right, and there you are.
And there you are. You're in the 1940s.
Craziness.
Yep, in a mold shop in the 1940s. Now, I would be...
I like Bobby Sings.
Yeah. I would be curious because he said the truck honked at him, so it actually acknowledged that he was there. Now, in another one that we read, there's these Boy Scouts or some version of them in England were doing an activity where they were dropped off with compasses and had to navigate and found themselves in an old medieval village.
Right.
Now, in that case, the Boy Scouts didn't seem to actually be a part of it. They were in like some in-between state. Like they didn't see any people anywhere, but saw like candles flickering and things like that.
The upside down.
Right. Like it's some kind of, twisted version of reality or some hiccup in time or whatever. Right. So that's really interesting. But in this one, he's clearly interacting with that space. I wonder if he had managed to grab anything or touch anything, what would have happened, or would the reality have reset before he had a chance to do that? I don't know. Very curious. But cool stories. Again, I think that stuff is just awesome. I got another couple here.
Hey, I got a quick question for the chat real quick, though.
Sure.
Why are there only 12 thumbs up?
12?
12?
Huh?
Yeah, crazy.
Are you guys getting 12 thumbs
Show
up?
some love.
Give us some love, ladies and gentlemen.
I might bat my eyelashes.
Your eyebrows.
My gray eye. People, do you have eyelashes? Yeah, they're just gray. You can't see them.
Oh, really?
It's like, thanks.
No, you got them.
I need
sure
a
you
little
do.
mascara.
Mascara. along with your manti hose.
Oh, somebody said they see 27, so let me refresh. Yeah, let me see what I can do here.
Oh yeah, refreshing kind of helps. But
Yes.
still, that's a little light. 27's a little
yeah.
light.
What are you guys doing? All right.
Unless you don't like the show. In that case, then damn it. Let me know why.
Oh, man. I refreshed. We have 56.
Oh, way to show up, Don.
But before I refreshed, we only had 2 thumbs down. Now we have 9.
We do. Somebody's been busy.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe they didn't like Wes's thing.
Tough luck. That's Germer.
I'm just kidding because it's obviously us. They are always giving us those 9 thumbs down. Same 9 though, every time.
Yeah.
At least they're consistent.
Well, it's just numbers. It's just, analytics,
It's activity. It's showing activity.
You're not really understanding that you're actually showing us love by reacting to our channel. We love you.
Yeah, any interaction is considered good by the
Algorithms.
algorithm. Thank you. Thank you for completing my sentence.
Michelle says it's the Skinwalkers.
It's the dim walkers.
Oh, God. Wow, there you go.
They can transform into something with no IQ. They can transform into a thumbs down clicker with no IQ. There you go.
I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic.
Doesn't mean I have to be nice to them.
No.
They're helping us out either way, but it doesn't mean I have to be nice to them.
That's true.
They can kiss my fluffy. Never mind. All right. So,
My 7th rock from the sun.
all right. So next comes up an article from Quora, whatever. Yeah, that's where it's coming from. Have you ever experienced a time slip? What? Time slip. All right, and this somebody's answering this. It's Donna McLean. 3 things come to mind instantly. When my older sister and I were teenagers, we were riding our 10-speed men's racers down the street, laughing and talking as we did. I remember standing on my bike pedals as I rode. Next thing, I was picking myself up off the ground. She was laughing at me. I didn't remember falling in the first place, and I didn't feel any cuts or bruising. But funny enough, my hand raised up to feel the back of my head, though I felt no pain, and I had a bleeding cut. My sister doesn't recall running over my head. I'm not sure this is a time slip. Just
concussion.
Yeah, just that I was picking myself off the street. There was no reason to have fallen. The street was fully tarred. We rode home, and I had to have stitches in the hospital, and we surmised she must have cut me with her pedal. Who knows? A couple of years ago, I was at a crossroad intersection with my young son of about 11 then, and we'd stopped at the lights waiting our turn, and we're the first at the lights with a car beside me, and I'm listening to him chatter away as he flicked around the radio. I'm looking right to left, though I was going straight. Looking right, I see this heavy truck, like a tip truck, thinking our lights must be about ready to change, and I don't think he's going to slow down. Truck is about 800 meters to the intersection, and I didn't realize how fast he must be going at first. I just got a thought, he's not going to slow down for the light changeover. Then everything seemed to become in slow motion around me. My son's chatter and the radio became distant in the background, like all sound had become muffled as I'm looking right to left, still and back again. And it felt like I was in a protective energy trance, if you can imagine. I wasn't frightened, but resistant to move. Not any of the cars were moving other than this truck. Still, he didn't seem to be slowing down, and I remember saying to my son, geez, he doesn't look like he's slowing down. Then our light turned green, and still everything in slow motion and muffled. I didn't move, nor did anyone behind or beside me. Everything was silent, no horns of impatience, nothing. And then the truck flies through the intersection while our lights are green. And the next set, he's still going. Only then, everything went back to normal. Hearing, movement, everything. Very bizarre. A couple of months ago, a similar incident. I'm driving myself to pick up my daughter from a late shift at the supermarket. I'm looking ahead thinking these lights are green a long time, but the opposite side of the intersection has stopped, turning right lane, and the car's going ahead. No traffic waiting at the lights to the right, and to the left was the entry to the freeway. I got that familiar feeling I had previously as above, but not as intense. I'm thinking this is weird and unusual. I'm quite away from the lights, so I didn't try to beat the orange change. I just kept my mosey speed. As I approached the lights, they changed to orange, and then at the same time, this motorbike speeds through the intersection from the right. He's run a red light, but again, nobody moved.
Wow.
You know, I think that's maybe not as much of a time slip as it is an adrenaline,
Right.
an adrenaline charge.
Right.
Like, have you ever been in one of those situations, Don? I mean, people talk about it all the time. Like, time seemed to slow down
Yeah.
or stand still.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was coming home from work one night.
Uh-huh.
It was in the winter. It was probably like 3:00 in the afternoon, and we're coming up the hill into Coeur d'Alene from Spokane. While I'm coming in. So anyhow, I'm in the right lane. I'm just in this little S10, right? And I'm just kind of putting up the road. You know, there's snow all over, the ice on the road, you know, so I'm just putting up the hill. And then all of a sudden, this BMW just comes right past me. And I can see just as it gets past me, the wheels break, right? So it's like sliding. And then it literally does this like matrix thing, right? Everything just slows down, and I watch them, and their front end goes right across my lane, and the front end is pointing right at my pickup. And I look at them, and I see them like this. They're like, and I just wave, and they go right into the ditch without us stopping. You know, I did not stop. They were like, and I'm like, and we just kept going, and it was just perfect. I just went right on by them. They didn't hit the ditch, but you know, their back end was, you know, pointing the opposite direction. I'm like, well, that was fun. And so, yeah, it was like, wow, you know, wow.
Their car was crashing and you're waving at them.
Yeah, I'm like
it's a freaking parade. Are they going to throw candy or what? What's going on?
But it was crazy. It was like that surreal moment, you know, you just see it break and you just like boop. And then they're just like this. And it was just so slow motion. It was just surreal.
That's
so,
bizarre.
Yeah. And
wow.
so it's like, you know, the adrenaline kicked in because I'm like, should I speed up? Should I slow down? Should I hit the brake? Should I just stay right where I am? And I did, and it just all worked out. Wow. No, they didn't get hurt. You know, they were on the side of the road, but they weren't in the ditch. And I just keep going up the hill like, wow. Congratulations!
Hey, have fun.
Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes.
Have a nice trip.
We're just going to slide on by.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, okay. But yeah, I've had that happen. And then there was that one time, my brother had just learned, he just got his license, and my mom was in the front seat, my baby brother was driving, and I'm in the back seat. Mm-hmm. And we're coming up on this light, and the light just turned from red to green, and my brother goes to start up, and I'm like, don't go. And vroom, right across, somebody ran through that red light. Oof. And they would have just T-boned us on the left-hand side.
Did you see it coming, or
I
did
did.
It just
I did.
feel it?
I just kind of felt this thing.
So there you go. There you go.
You know, yeah, I just kind of felt this thing. It's like, don't do it. And then it was like, okay, there you go. And my brother looks back, and he goes, huh. Like, sometimes it happens.
Where'd that come from? Yeah. No, I'm with you, brother. I mean, I've had it happen to myself. Yeah. You know, just the time just seems to slow down, and suddenly you can just examine things more clearly. So I think that's what's going on in many of these stories.
Absolutely.
From this person. Rather than a time slip, it's more of a... I think that our minds and bodies can work much faster than they do. It's just that it takes an extreme amount of adrenaline to make us really, like, you know, if you look at somebody under that, you know, like look at a cat. Mm-hmm. When they're stressed, their eyes open big. And same is true for people. It's like...
Yeah, like
you get
those
that,
guys. Who,
yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Wow.
For them, there's that this slow motion waving and smiling as they're going, we're gonna die. Did they wave back?
No, they were just like, okay. I'm sorry, buddy.
You're just waving as they die.
You dummy.
Well, there you have it, folks. The long beard approach. Wave at the parade as they go by. No, I just think those are some cool stories of time slips and great discussion points. So we're going to talk about some Bigfoot stories here. Neither of these are huge, but they're interesting, and they come from animalian.com. Well, one of them does. Where's the hell's the other one? I had another. I don't see where it is, though. Huh. I thought I did. I know I got one here. I know I got another one. This is weird. I thought I pulled it over. Maybe I neglected to.
Welcome to the portal.
Welcome to the portal, ladies and gentlemen, where anything happens. Anything's possible. Damn, I didn't. How did I not? Okay, hold on. I got to check something here. This is actually... Damn it, where is it? I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. Something happened. I hate when that happens, but something happened here. I'm not sure what happened, but something happened.
Time slip.
Time slip. It was definitely a time slip.
Shifted dimensions.
Right. Oh, well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it for the show, so let's just keep going. This is an article from animalien.com, and this is a report coming out of California, and this is from February 18th, 2021, so this is this year, folks. And again, courtesy of animalien.com. Check them out. They're a great show. They got their own podcast as well, and have a great site. It says, on the evening of January 23rd, 2021, California police officer Rick Bates was driving down an empty highway, returning home when he saw a very massive humanoid figure lying face down on the side of the road, covered from head to toe with brown hair.
Wow.
The site of the American Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, or BFRO, recently posted a new Yeti sighting that was sent to them by a police officer named Rick Bates. Well, no, it's not a Yeti, because that's
not Yeti, at least.
It's not yet a Yeti. We don't have those here. We have Bigfoots or Sasquatches. But anyway, on the evening of January 23rd, wait a minute.
Oh, goodness. You got to wet the whistle again, huh?
I think the whistle's okay. Just had an itchy cough. On the evening of January 23rd, 2021, at around 8:15 p.m., Rick Bates was driving his car home to Garberville, California on Highway 101, returning from a mission from Brookings, Oregon. I was driving home from Brookings, Oregon on 12321. I was southbound on Highway 101, south of Garberville, California, and south of Benbow Inn, and the road makes a few turns, and the speed limit drops in the area. As I rounded a sweeping right-hand turn, I saw a figure on the southbound shoulder of the highway. I was the only vehicle in the area at about 8:15 p.m. My speed was about 45 to 50 miles per hour as I passed the figure. The figure was lying on the shoulder of the road on its right side, estimated that height to be about 7 foot. I was looking at the creature's back and noticed it had broad shoulders, and it was a thick torso shape. While the shape similar to a human, it was not human. It was not bear either. I could see muscular features and its glutes and a head on the shoulders that was somewhat tapered toward the top and being held off the ground, and its hair was chocolate brown and very coarse. The hair was not fur like a bear at all.
It wasn't a bear, V.
It was not a bear. I turned around at a distance past the spot and returned to where I had seen it. No other vehicles had gone north or south from that time, the time that I saw the creature, to the time I returned to its location, 2 minutes estimate. And when I got to the spot where I had seen it, the creature was gone. Oh, he's playing possum, huh? As an avid hunter and fisherman, I spent a lot of time in the woods. I spent every summer camping in that area as a kid as well. And I have never seen anything like what I just saw this evening. Singular 40 researchers have discovered that police officer named Rick Bates is indeed a real person who serves at the headquarters of Rohnert Park, California. Researcher Matthew Moneymaker was able to contact Bates and talk about the case, and he said that Bates is only 20 years old, but he is described as a very observant and responsible person. He drove this highway many times, and he no doubt saw a large animal lying next to the highway in the dark, illuminated by the headlights of his car. The question is, what kind of animal could it be? He hunted bear, elk, deer, etc., and he says that this creature had a manifest human body form, but covered in hair. His body was lying perpendicular to the highway. His feet were within 1 foot of the white line to the side of the highway, as if it had been hit by a car earlier, Moneymaker said. Wonder if it was dead and that the other ones were just coming to collect them. Because whenever you see a Sasquatch, the idea is that there's probably more around. Like they're not usually solitary figures. So perhaps this was a juvenile that got smacked by something and got maybe knocked cold or knocked out or dead. And when this other car came, it was just not time enough for them to get there to get the body.
Right.
And so they waited till he went and turned around or went past and grabbed the body quick. And then by the time he returned, no dice, no body, no dice.
No body, no crime.
That's right. You'll never convict on that evidence.
You'll never catch me, you dirty coppers.
You'll never take me alive.
Settle down, babyface.
Yeah.
Obviously, that Bigfoot was sleeping off a few bushels of fermented apples.
maybe there's some shiners in them there hills. He got a hold of some ripe mash.
You know, it's funny. We get woodpeckers out at my house, and every year when the what are they? The elderberries. When the elderberries ferment, they'll be up in the tree and they'll be hanging upside down in the tree. It's the funniest thing in the world. They'll just drop. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Bunch of drunk woodpeckers.
Drop peckers.
Drop peckers. Hey. I'm going to leave that all the way the hell alone. I will not be commenting on that at all.
Oh, you read Sarah Begnell's comment about our show the other night when we showed the picture of the koala bear? She goes, I was gonna draw fangs on it, but I didn't know if you guys would get it.
He's up here on the wall behind me.
Oh, is he? Cool.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yep, there he is.
Yep, he's up there. But I didn't draw the fangs on him yet.
But that's awesome.
He's a happy drop bear. He's a happy drop bear. He's not a mean.
Hey, there's a phone call.
There is.
There's a phone call.
We better get to that. Oh. Let's get to this phone call, and this is area code 360. How you doing?
Good, it's Elaine.
I'm sorry, what?
It's Elaine.
Hi, Elaine. You got that in stereo.
I did. Yeah. Anyway, this pertains more to the story you did before the last.
Okay.
About driving.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm driving a 30-foot bus. It's the end of my shift, 9:30 in the morning, and I pull into a left turn lane.
Okay.
And there's left turn lanes going in both directions at this intersection. And the lights are red, so I wait. And there's a car in the left turn lane facing me. And the lights go green for just the turn lanes. And I'm in the intersection in the 30-foot bus. And he goes straight.
Oh.
I don't know how we missed each other. I had the entire intersection blocked.
Oh, my God.
We shared space. It was the weirdest thing. I just closed my eyes and waited for the bang, and I looked in my mirror, and he could see his rear end going down the road.
Oh, my God. Wow.
We shared space. We had to. I had the entire intersection blocked.
Wow.
Is that the weirdest thing or what? I know it's the weirdest thing.
That's cool, though. I mean, that's an incredible experience. But, you think, is this someone really from our timeline, or was this just an echo that popped through at that moment, or what? You know what I mean? Like, was it from some other?
I don't know.
Some other trans dimension or something? I don't know. God, that's really wild.
He didn't even look like he saw me. It was just the weirdest thing.
Well, thank God, though. Huh? Did you?
I have no explanation.
What was it? A kid's school, like a school bus, or what kind of bus?
No, I'm in a public bus, and he was just in a car.
Wow.
He had to have gone right through my bus.
That's amazing.
There's no way for him, because he didn't go around,
Right.
He went into the lane. If he had been going straight, he would have been in that lane. But he came from the left turn lane that I was going.
Wow.
That is
the weirdest. It was weird. I have no explanation. This happened a couple of years ago, and I scratched my head. I don't know what to think.
Wow. So I think that's absolutely amazing, and I don't know what to tell you, because it's it's anybody's guess.
It was solid. He looked solid.
Yeah. Right. And it had
maybe that's where these dinosaurs are coming from. Same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did this guy come from?
Right. Now I got to ask
Yeah,
you,
I don't
since
know.
I've got you on the horn here, how's the bone hoe?
Oh, the bono is with a raccoon claw. Nope, now it's Gumby. She's got more toys than most children. Yeah,
Oh, that's
she's
good.
spoiled.
That's good. That's
Yep.
good. That's good. And it's good to hear from you. I like that you called in. Now, do you got any more?
Well, I saw a UFO with my friend Mark
Oh, cool. What happened?
out when we lived at the beach house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was pretty strange. We're sitting there at the fire,
Okay.
and it was just me and him at the time. And he starts doing these monkey noises like, ooh, 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 like this. And I'm like, what? And he's pointing, and so I turn, and I'm out.
Uh-oh, you broke up.
Bremerton.
You broke up there. He turned. or
Sorry,
you-
it's about a mile across to Bremerton.
Okay.
And so I turn and look, and there's this white light, and it's just flying a million miles an hour right over Bremerton ship. You can't fly space,
Right.
Oh, my
obviously. Why?
Yep.
God. Yeah. Wow.
And so it's just going a million miles an hour, and then stops. And a couple seconds later, well, quite a few seconds later, here comes this jet, just beating feet, chasing it.
Yep.
And you can hear it before you can see it.
Right.
And when the plane gets close to this light, it just goes boop, and it's gone.
Really. Wow.
It was just gone. I'm just glad there was somebody else there to see it, because nobody would believe you. You know?
Right.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Well,
Yeah, a lot of people saw it, I guess, that night. Not just us. It was a beautiful summer night.
well, that
It
is
was
around
just
those.
weird.
Yeah, that is around those Navy docks up there, and I've been up to the Kitsap Bowl a few times up that way, and I've unfortunately never seen anything, but I know that like Whidbey Island, what is it? Oak. What the heck is that place called?
I don't know.
Oak Harbor, where they've got naval
Oak Harbor.
yards up there, and then also the Bremerton naval yards, and then all the way down through there. Aberdeen's even got one over on the coast, or Hoquiam actually, the Hoquiam naval yards, and there have been I've heard stories. I don't know the validity of them, but we're talking about naval bases though. Anytime you see a military installation, there seems to be all kinds of some kind of UFO or UAP phenomena in that area, and people just write it off. But when you see a jet chasing a light or something that's going a million miles an hour, there's got to be something going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was no noise. It made no noise
All right.
whatsoever. I mean, you can hear it. I know it's a 3/4 of a mile or a mile away, but you can hear people cough across the water.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You know.
can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can hear them talk, and they don't have to be yelling. It's weird, but sound really travels.
It
You
really
could hear
does.
nothing until you heard that jet,
Wow.
and he was not keep.
Screaming. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was not keeping up. Yeah,
That's
but
incredible.
it sat right over the shipyard and just went out. It didn't go up, didn't go anywhere. It just flicked out,
Just like blinked out.
like you turned off a light. Yeah, just was gone. It's
Maybe
like you turn off a light switch.
Right. Maybe it cloaked. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
maybe. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird.
That is weird. Wow. Huh.
Yeah, we still talk about it today. Hey, remember when we saw that UFO?
Right.
But I guess a lot of people
Oh, you're breaking
all
up
over
again.
the place.
You broke up on that.
Oh, I
I'm
got to
sorry.
quit moving. Yeah, I said I guess a lot of people saw it. I don't know if it was in the paper or what, but
Okay.
Yep.
Wowza.
yeah, Mark said he heard a lot of different people saw it.
Yeah. Well,
We
that's
called in about it. We didn't call anybody.
no. You didn't report it. You just kept that to yourself.
Yeah, we just went. Well, chalk that up to another weird one.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, they'll give you the jacket with the wraparound sleeves.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh, very
So
cool.
anyway,
Well, thank you
I'll
for.
let you guys go.
Okay,
All
milady.
right.
Thank you so much for calling in
Thank
and
you,
being a part of
Elaine.
the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
All right.
awesome.
Well, we'll talk to you later.
Okay. See ya.
All right, bye.
That was Miss Elaine.
Yeah, that's awesome though. Yeah, Bremerton's got those Navy yards up there.
Are you frozen?
No.
Your YouTube.
No. Oh, you know what it is. I just
No, this is here too. This.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if YouTube is frozen now, folks, or not, but
wow, what the heck is that?
I don't know, folks. Are you guys seeing the video?
Yeah, my
Okay.
video's all weird.
Nobody's mentioning it in there. So, not frozen.
No, it looks
Not
fine to me.
frozen. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, glad it's moving. All
I'm
right.
sorry you can hear us, Android. We're working. That's right, Rachel. We're working it, baby.
We're punching the
We're
clock
working
here,
it.
as always.
Viva says you're fine.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Well, thank you very much.
Youre with an apostrophe.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's the thought that counts. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up our journey for tonight. We hope you've enjoyed this jump into the paranormal portal. Again, special thanks to Mr. Wes Germer for that contribution. That was a lot of fun to play on the show, and we'll be looking for more of his contributions. That's just awesome. I love it. He does a top-notch job. That was really, really well done. But
It just shows that his show is worth paying attention to.
well, yeah, I mean he's really cast the die for all of the modern podcasts. Really,
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean he really has. And it shows in that we're all copying him anyway.
Exactly. Don't tell him.
No, I mean we're inspired by him.
He is our inspiration.
No, of course, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. He was
Let me
definitely
get a
mine.
napkin and wipe that nose.
I'm just saying it's true. I'm not gonna lie, but that's all we got for you, folks. Thank you so
right.
much for being part of our journey. Thank you for all of you coming in, and please feel free to subscribe if you're not already. We'd love for you to become part of the family, and please spread the word. Let other people know about the portal. It would be wonderful if more people found us, and your help with that would be greatly appreciated. So share these streams if you'd like. Share them onto your social media. But anyway, folks, we got to wrap it up here. Don, anything in closing?
Teespring. Spooky Mom for 15% off at our Teespring store.
Teespring, folks. And that's where you're going to find it, is all those paranormal portal treasures. There's cups, there's stickers, there's shirts, there's hoodies.
Yep.
There's all kinds of goodness. So we hope you'll check them out and find something you love and get that Spooky Mom in their coupon code, and that'll give you some savings as well. So thank you all. We love you bunches, and that's all for us. So
Night, Viva.
good night, Viva. Don, what is nod? Etten nod? I don't even know what that means.
We'll read it backwards. It's Dawn Night.
Oh,
It should actually be Night Dawn, but whatever.
all right. Oh, all right. And this is a Doog Etten now. So there you go. We got a new strange tongue emerging in the chat. Apparently, there's new linguistics emerging. But that's all we got. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. I'll be back tomorrow night, so join me then right here on the Paranormal Portal. All right, Don,
Good night.
let's get out of here. What do you say?
Let's skedaddle.
Let's get out of here. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.